The Nintendo Switch 2 is still in its early days, and yeah, waiting for the big first-party titles is slowly melting my brain. Luckily, Donkey Kong Bananza is gonna keep me in check for a while. You know how people say a great superhero game makes you feel like the hero? Well, Donkey Kong Bonanza makes you feel like Donkey Kong in the best possible way. Massive, unstoppable, and one banana short of a total meltdown. Nintendo finally lets him go wild in a physics-rich sandbox built for him to play in and destroy. Honestly, it's everything Skull Island Rise of Kong wished it could be. Jokes aside, it's not perfect. There are some stumbles here and there, but what's here feels fresh, fun, and bursting with that signature Nintendo charm we all know and love. Without delaying any further, join us here at GameAge as we review Donkey Kong Bonanza. Let's dive in. If you're looking for a deep, thought-provoking plotline, well, you came to the wrong place. Donkey Kong Bonanza doesn't waste time with an overly complex story. It knows exactly what it wants to be. A fun, momentum-driven adventure with just enough heart to keep you invested. The setup is downright absurd. The game starts with Donkey Kong and his fellow apes deep underground, mining a powerful energy source called Bonanzium, which naturally DK eats like candy. But things go south when a giant meteorite destroys their whole operation and scatters all the banana or candies they work so hard to get. The craziness is far from over though, as Kong finds a talking purple rock that, after a few hours of gameplay, turns out to be a little girl named Pauline. She was transformed by Voidco, an evil mining megacorp that's mostly to blame for what happened to not only Pauline, but to Donkey Kong and his friends. What unfolds is surprisingly emotional, as DK sets off to reclaim his precious gems and Pauline searches for a way back to her normal world. They don't start as a team, but watching their bond grow, especially through their shared goal of taking down Voidco, adds a layer of warmth that you don't usually expect in a game about smashing giant green glowing bananas. While the plot is mostly delivered in a straight line as you go from point A to point B with a set objective, the writing still finds space for layered jokes, clever environmental storytelling, and a few genuinely heartfelt moments. Pauline's grounded presence plays off DK's lovable brute force in a way that keeps things balanced. If there's a knock against the story, it's that the linearity sometimes makes the supporting cast feel like glorified cameos rather than fleshed out characters. You'll meet cool side characters and bosses sure, but most of them don't get enough screen time to leave a lasting impact. That said, the dynamic between DK and Pauline carries enough charm to make up for it, and the ride is still a total blast. Gameplay is where Donkey Kong Bonanza really pops off. The game literally opens with Donkey Kong in an empty room and basically tells you, hey, see this room? Go bananas. At first, you might think it looks a bit like Mario Odyssey, but once you start playing, you'll realize Donkey Kong is a whole different beast. Unlike Mario, DK's toolkit is stacked. He can climb, dig, float, surf, swim, and more. Just moving around feels fantastic. There's a sense of weight and momentum that makes you feel like an unstoppable force as you barrel through the game's multiple stages. The real magic though lies in how each level is built. They're layered literally with multi-tiered biomes packed full of hidden rooms, alternate routes, and platforming challenges. And in true Donkey Kong fashion, the game sometimes lets you skip entire puzzles or obstacles just by punching straight through them. It's a sandbox that rewards brute force just as much as brain power. Exploration constantly rewards you, and the collectibles aren't just there for completionists, they actually matter. One of the main collectibles are fossils. Gather enough and you can trade them in for new fur colors for Donkey Kong, or more importantly, for different outfits that both he and Pauline can wear. These aren't just cosmetic either. Each piece of clothing grants passive bonuses like faster swim speed, reduced damage, quicker energy regeneration, and more. You can mix and match outfit pieces to stack effects and fine-tune your playstyle. It's not a deep RPG system, but what's here adds a welcome layer of customization that keeps gameplay fresh. You'll also be collecting Banandium, basically Bananza's version of Odyssey's Power Moons. You don't need a certain number to keep progressing through the story, but they're everywhere. You'll find them by solving puzzles, clearing challenge rooms, or poking around off the beaten path. For every 5 Banandiums you collect, you get a skill point to spend on Donkey Kong's skill tree. This lets you boost his health, strengthen his punches, or unlock new abilities like a spinning jump or a better sonar scan. But the real standout here are the Bananza forms. As you progress, DK gains wild transformations that change how you explore and fight. Kong Bananza is your Super Saiyan Hulk Smash style mode where you can absolutely wreck everything in sight. Zebra Bananza cranks up your movement speed and adds zipline traversal. Ostrich Bananza lets you glide over gaps like a maniac with feathers. Each form has its own strengths and the game keeps pushing you to get creative with how you combine them. You can swap between forms on the fly using the D-pad, which opens up some great combos, like smashing enemies as Kong, dashing to the next group as Zebra, then transforming back mid-air to keep the chaos going. The Banana G meter adds a bit of resource management to keep things from getting too brainless while still making you feel powerful. It's no surprise that Donkey Kong Bananza gets compared to Mario Odyssey. There are clear similarities and it's obvious the devs built on the same DNA, but Bananza doesn't just copy, it builds. It turns Odyssey's precision into something far more chaotic and freeform. If Tears of the Kingdom was a wild evolution of Breath of the Wild, then Bananza feels like the same kind of upgrade, just with way more bananas. Donkey Kong Bananza looks and sounds like a Saturday morning cartoon powered by rock and roll and jungle juice. The art direction is striking across the board, with each underground layer serving as its own biome. One minute you're in a crystal cave, next you're at a lagoon. There's a sense of discovery and momentum in the environments that keeps each new level visually fresh. The devs clearly had fun designing each space to be both a playground and a spectacle. Structures fall apart as you punch through them. Backgrounds react to the chaos. Bosses often turn the entire screen into a light show of debris, explosions, and environmental hazards. It all looks awesome, but that's also where the one big visual downside kicks in. During high-intensity moments, especially in boss fights, the frame rate can take a hit. It's not constant and it doesn't make the game unplayable by any means, but you'll notice when it stutters mid-battle or during flashy transformations. Audio-wise, straight bangers. Bananza's soundtrack refuses to chill, in the best way. There's a little bit of everything here. Classic Donkey Kong jungle beats, tribal drum breakdowns, and even synthy underground techno. And then there's Pauline. Every time you activate a Bananza form, she belts out a custom theme song that's part hype track, part motivational anthem. It's ridiculous, and it works. Pauline's music is probably the best part of the game. They're legit earworms you'll probably find yourself humming outside the game. Aside from that, the sound effects hit just as hard. Every punch, slap throw, or enemy bonk is tuned to give that crunchy, satisfying oomph. Even DK's grunts and the way the rubble crunches beneath your feet contribute to the rhythm of gameplay. It's the kind of audio design that makes everything feel tactile and alive, even when you're just literally smashing rocks. Donkey Kong Bananza is Nintendo doing what they do best, crafting a playground that has charm, replayability, and most important of all, fun. It's a game that respects your curiosity, encourages experimentation, and makes even the act of smashing a wall feel like progress. Sure, the story is a bit linear and the performance dips now and then, but those are minor blips on an otherwise golden banana. For $70, you're getting a game with loads of replay value and gameplay that never stops being fun to dive into. So whether you're a Donkey Kong diehard or just looking for your next big platformer obsession, Bananza is definitely a must-play as we are giving it a deserved score of 94 out of 100. But what about you? Are you swinging into Donkey Kong Bananza? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more reviews and gaming content. This has been GameMate and thanks for watching.